Hello, everybody. I paused before my videos, well, after it seems to have started because sometimes it gets cut off. So I hope that's not the case. Hope I didn't start talking too soon. Anyway, this is Julie from the Scraps of My Life. I was so excited. I received a book in the mail today that I ordered for beginning my watercolors, and I wanted to share it with you because the reason being, how many books are there on watercolors? And it just is amazing me how everything's kind of just fallen in my lap that's right down my alley. You know, we all have a certain style, even though it's the same medium. We all do things differently, and different things appeal to each one of us. So, like, you know, some people really love to do portraits, some people like to do animals, some people like to do, you know, and it's like everything that I like is kind of just falling in my lap with the best instruction, whether it's a book or a person on YouTube. It's just crazy wonderful, and I just have to share what I have found out, just in case that somebody out there is kind of like me. So anyway, this is my book, okay, that I'm working on. This is my art. This is not an art journal. This is my watercolor journal. Okay, there's a difference, being that I did not create this to do watercolors in. I created this to record my journey about watercolors. And with that said, it has not yet clicked in my brain what I want to put on the front of this cover, so I'm going to leave it blank until it does. That's what inspiration is. So I have just, once again, I really do like the file folder covers. You can thicken them or leave them as they are. You know, I'm thinking about doing a portion of another folder and, you know, tightening this spine up a little. Not that it needs to be, but I'm just thinking about it. I don't know. I might use something else, fabric. I don't know. I don't know because I haven't got that far. This is my cover, though. This is what I'm using. I've not done anything to it whatsoever except make it. This is my cover page. And of course, when I come here, I'm going to have a little bit more of a substantial pocket here because I want that. I want it to be that way. I may even divide this particular pocket into two sections since this is about, you know, this is 11 inches or so if I'm not mistaken. So it's pretty wide and tall, and I want to make use of it. Everything, if you use one pocket, will fall down to the bottom. So anyway, that's to come. And this paper, because this is about my artful journey, I was very inspired. I bought this paper at Hobby Lobby. It's just, there's like a few different colors, this is the only one that's done in the paisley pattern. But the other ones are just as gorgeous. They're metallic, you know, style. And I love the fact that the inside is not. I love that it's plain. It looks like a brown paper bag almost. I just love that. I guess it's the texture that I love. And then I had this set of paper that I really like. It's by Susan Wingate. I think that's how you pronounce her name. I hope I'm not murdering her name. But it's a specialty paper pack, and K & Company is the one who manufactured it for her. So that's the paper I've used in here in various spots. You'll see it. There is one paper here that is not hers, but it's kind of an oddball. This is bits that I have in making my other journals that I'm now working on, that I have cut off to make a certain size, and these are the pieces of paper, and I just love them. I love them. They're like bookmarks. They're like perfect to write a note on, and so that's what I've actually done here. And actually, I got kind of bored at waiting on my paints, which, by the way, came today, and I'll show you those too. I'm so crazy. I know. This is just paint, right? No, this is not just paint. This is amazing. And I have not had the opportunity to, I opened it up, I looked at it, I read all the colors. And what I did was, I'll get back to the book just a sec. What I did was I ordered thinking that I was ordering two different color sets when in fact I pretty much ordered two basic sets. One is in pans and one is in tubes. Well, these are the smaller tubes. But that is not exactly what I did. So I ended up with 18 colors in the pans, which is fabulous. So it's all the basics, the aquamarine and the colors that you really use. The gray one, can't think of the first name of it. And then they pretty much have right up to here, up to the pink one here. They're pretty much the same. Those basics, the sienna, the raw sienna, the something gray, the umber, whatever. But then when you get to this pink one, these three, the pink and these three here, the yellow and the reds, are different from one which is in the pans, which I am thrilled about. And that's a good thing because I'm planning on doing some floral painting. So I said, you know what, that's worked out great. So yeah, and so this is great for floral painting. And then also, I'm thinking it's going to work okay for the book I'm going to show you here momentarily. But that is my paints, and they're the Sennelier, and I am so dying to fool around with them, but I'm not going to yet because my desk is covered, as you can see, with the scraps and remains of working on this book right here, and I'm not quite happy with leaving it go yet. So, as I said, I was making this to write down notes and remembrances and etc. for my journey. This is about my watercolor journey, because a journey never really has an ending. Well, it does, but it doesn't have to. So this is where I'm starting from. This little tree thing, I was going to throw this in the trash. And because I was sitting here, like I said, I was bored waiting on my paints. I took this little wet brush that I got in the koi colors, and I took some of the koi paint, which I am not utterly thrilled with at all whatsoever, but so I did some brown, and I thought, I was just sitting here messing around, and I had been listening to videos and probably still was listening to one. And I think that's the same night that I did the chocolate. I have a page in here that reminds me of chocolate and vanilla, and here it is. And I said, I'm going to make a pocket out of this. There was just nothingness under there, really, just leftover of a page. So I stamped this on, and I took my pen and I took my koi and I did the vanilla because I want to make these colors that are in this page right here. This is why I cut this slither out and made a pocket out of it. So I love these different variations of what I'll call vanilla colors. And so I wrote the word vanilla, and then I took the white. There's a white in the kois, and I dotted it on top of the vanilla to make it look a little more interesting. So that's what I was doing when this happened. And somehow ended up with one little white dot there in the middle, and I guess I thought, well, I'm just going to throw that away. But once it sit here and it dried, and I looked at it and I picked it up, throw it in the trash, I thought, you know what, I can put my note on there. I've got something I need to write down. I need to write it down right now. And I wrote it down. So what happened was I was watching a video of Steve, I think is his name, on YouTube, and I wrote down, I want to build my confidence and skill to sketch in ink. So I do all my sketching. I'm so comfortable, well, far more comfortable with a pencil because obviously you can erase pencil. But I want to do ink. So I sit here last night and did a sketch out. My first ink sketch out, really. And of course it's all off and, not perfect at all, but there's just something about it I like. So I love the imperfections of it. Of course, there's some imperfections that are just sad, but other than that, the door is really what I don't know what it is about the weird lines that I like, but I do. So anyway, I did that. So I'm going to be practicing on doing that. Anyway, so I wanted to do a really fast flip through of my book. I took that, I didn't even cut that piece of paper down. Excuse me, I don't know what's going on with my throat today. This is that paper from, it looks like watercolor, doesn't it? It's beautiful. I cut this out of another sheet and put it here to make a pocket because that page was just blaring at me. And I'm going to stick some extra, papers in there to jot down notes on. So this book, just quickly let me explain, is about things that I like, things that inspire me, as well as things that I aspire to try to do, to accomplish. So I have always had a thing, okay, florals is my thing, period, okay, from the get-go. But I've always had a thing for florals and baskets on bicycles for as long back as I can remember. So I saw this, and of course the watercolors on the edge, that helps too. But I wanted to put that in here because I want to sketch something like this out and paint it. Okay. And then this is a frame that I made out of scrap paper that was actually just laying here on my desk, and I folded it in half, made a frame, and I thought one day I can use that to frame something that I draw maybe. It's watercolor looking paper. I've got some sketch paper in here. There really isn't any watercolor paper in here because it's so thick that it would really bulk my book up. So, and that's not what this book is about. So, and I saw this page. It says start where you are. So there's a lot of things in here that encourage me as well as inspire me. And then there are things in here that I aspire to, as I said. So I've been jotting things down, and just some sketch paper here. My very first trial with my toys right there. Moved it over there, made some notes. This I used just to make a little pocket because that color was really getting me down right there. So I had to brighten it up a smidge. So yeah, more of that same paper line. Some sketch paper that I made a pocket with this side. I love butterflies. I love nature, period, okay? So I made a pocket with that. Plus I get to use, the butterflies. I really love these flowers, and instead of using the whole page out of the book, I just use the flowers. So I put them here as a flip out, tip in, whatever you would like to call it, okay? It is really preference. Just some papers from magazines that inspire me, the colors, the textures. This one here may be watercolor paper. I can't remember. I think that's sketching paper of a different weight. This page is here because I was trying to figure out in my mind, what is it that you want to do here, Julie? Do you want to draw children, or do you want to draw things inspired by childhood? And I finally figured it out. It's not so much the children I want to draw. Definitely not their faces. But, and you would understand that if you saw some of my drawings. But what inspires childhood, the beauty of it, and that's the part I want to pull out. So that's what that's there for. This is just a drawing that I did and converted it over to digital, and I stuck it in here because that's one of the first things I want to redraw and work on. Got some coffee dyed paper in here also. Isn't that beautiful? That I coffee dyed. I felt like I just wanted to put some in here. This, I made a list. Now, when I started doing watercolor, when I started on this journey, I took my first baby step in the watercolor world. I thought all you need is the watercolors, a paintbrush, and some water. And of course the paper. Of course, that is crazy. That is not true. Do not believe that by anybody who tells you that. That is not at all true. So don't believe it, okay? Because there are many other things that go along with watercolor. One of them, I sat this here because I wanted to mention an eraser, not this particular one, not a plastic one, as I've learned, but the gum, what I call gum erasers. I'm really not sure of their true name. The ones you can knead, and you know, they're a natural gum base or whatever. You're going to need one, okay? You're going to need pens and proper drawing pencils if you're going to do any sketching. There's no way you can learn how to. As a matter of fact, I was listening to one of the masters, and he said, you know, he was naming a number of things. The reason that people fail in watercolor is because they don't think that they have to sketch anything. They don't think that they have to draw anything out. You know, you go out in the field and you think you're just going to sit there and paint something, and when you look down at it, after you look at your subject and you look back at the paper, that is not what I'm looking at. Well, you're not going to learn if you don't draw. So there are certain pens and there are certain pencils, drawing pencils, not even, okay, I love these pencils, okay, this is just, I'm thinking it's a number 2 pencil lead. It's a 0.7 point, and I love these. They actually erase beautifully, but not completely all the time, depending on what kind of paper it's on, right? Same thing with drawing pencils. And drawing pencils come in all kind of widths and darknesses, and you know, there's hard ones, there's softer ones. Some of them are made to go with watercolor and some of them are not. And it just depends. I mean, I have learned so much over the past couple weeks. I mean, just, you know, just listening and just reading and paying attention. And then same thing with pens. I found out, you know, by listening to a couple different people that I like brown ink. I hate black ink. I love the fact that it stands up and you can see it. You know, for instance, I have this green pen that I found in all my pens. I have them all in a bag from moving, okay? And I haven't actually pulled them all out yet. And this is a gel pen. It's called Gel Sticks, and it is absolutely a beautiful color. And it looks almost like, I even wrote it on this piece of paper right here. I'm not sure that's even going to focus. It's so light. But it almost looks like there's actually, instead of gold in it, it looks like there's silver metallic mixed with the green ink. It is beautiful, and it's the only one that I have. Obviously, I bought this years and years ago. You can even see the silver in the barrel right there that has separated from the green up here at the top, and cannot find them anywhere. And I'm like, if anybody can tell me what is comparable, it is a fine point. It does not have any name, any measurement, any type, you know, the point that it is or anything, no numbers. It simply has jelly sticks on it with a GELISTIX. And it's got an R for a real, you know, for a registered trademark. And I can't find them anywhere. So obviously I bought them years and years and years ago. So what I'm saying is, when you start your journey, you're going to find out it's going to take more than paints, paintbrushes, paper, and water. So don't let anybody tell you different, not to mention books, which brings me to my next thing. So I stuck this in here. This is pens, okay? And I did watch a video by Steve. I'll try to put his link down there. He has been so helpful for me. I put this on here to write down the ones I do like. And I have ordered a couple of pens, or I'm going to. I can't remember. Maybe they were out of stock. Anyway, I've got to do that. So yeah, you're going to need the right tools to do this right. So anyway, going on, just going to hurry up and flip on through this for you guys. I left this to use like a pocket or to put paste ups of my, you know, like if I do a small sketch or something, that's what that's there for. So yeah, probably won't be doing anything with that right away. Here are some windows balconies, chairs, doors, bifold doors. Yeah, that's why that's there. Something to inspire. And then this is what I aspire to. This was the only thing I could find in my arsenal of magazines at the time that was close to the buildings and the texture of what doesn't have all the beautiful color, but that's okay because I need to start without so much color. I'm sure of it. So yeah, so that's in the center of my book, so I can get a good view of it. And this is that thing that I sketched out, but I'm not exactly the same, but you know, I made it larger, obviously. I'm always larger. Everything's larger for me. So yeah, inspiring, aspiring, two words that we all need to follow when we're doing a journey book, right? And then there's a few quotes in here, some my own, some others. This is a pocket I created, and this was half of another page I used. So I decided don't throw that away, use it. Isn't that beautiful? Love this paper. It's like it was made to go in this book. There's my drawing. There's the other side of the children. And that is an artist, by the way. So yeah, just added some pink to this coffee dyed paper. There's an impression of a doily. Just, you know, just things that inspire me. There's other part of the butterflies. I just like the colors, I think. And the, you know, they're not so very detailed. Shutters again to cover up that paper that just didn't quite make me very happy. But the other side does. So I had to use it. And I wrote here, in conclusion, I am sure that I won't be painting for the world, and I am okay with that. Okay? In other words, I'm not putting my expectations so high to think that I'm going to become a master at the age of 50-some years old, but I am going to definitely enjoy what I am doing. Isn't that beautiful? Some florals and the pinks. I love the lightness of the color, so I'm going to try that out eventually. Love the birds thing, because I have not defined my style quite yet. I know that I'm a whimsical artist, and this more fits me now, but I do want to try some more realistic art and see how that goes. This is a list of things that come to my mind. I write them down here on this paper to draw, to sketch, to paint. And that is the back of my book. Okay, and it's only been 23 minutes. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. All right, so I want to quickly show you this book. I am so excited about this book. This is the realist part of, I have always, my whole life, even though I live on the coast, in the coastal area, and these are my brushes, by the way. I got two, Steve suggested, you know, I kind of went mediocre with the price of the brushes. He said you don't need expensive brushes, but he said these were really good. These are not Sable, but these are Cosmotop Spins. They're both number 10s. I like the size of them to me, before using them. They're not as large as a wash brush, but you could use them for small washes. But yet they have nice points, and they're beautiful. They're wood. And of course, these are the Da Vinci, and they're made by a family, I found out, that's been making brushes forever. So I wanted to share that with you real quick. And then my book. This is what I aspire to do. One of the biggest things to me. It's big to me because I don't know how to achieve it yet. But this book, I was looking at books. I've ordered a couple. I showed you the, I made this video several times, so I don't know what I've showed you. I did, I think I showed you the Florist Bible. I'm looking for it here, and I don't see it. I could quickly show it to you, but I'll try to list it for you under the video so that it'll be helpful for you. Why I don't see it, I don't know. I'm so sorry. I was so excited about this one. I thought I had already shared the other books with you, but I will list those for you. And I don't get any money for it. I don't even know how to do that yet. So I'm just doing this for people like me who haven't quite fell into the gold, the end of the rainbow thing like I have somehow seemed to have stumbled into. That's just everything falling in my bucket. I don't know. It's just great. It's not normal for me to just look at this. It's not normal for me to just find exactly what I'm looking for without searching and hunting and searching and hunting. Not so in this case, and I am so thrilled that I want to share it. And so I love texture, and I love everything in it. I love everything about this book. And Ray Henderson is the man who did this. As I go through this, you'll see. And I feel like if you can master or come close to mastering something like this and the petal of a flower, then what else is there? Right? So yeah, I'm not worried about noses and eyes. This is what I love. This is what I love. And so there's all this texture and how to achieve it, and colors and how to achieve them. I mean, right? Trees. Look at this house. I love, if I had not gotten married and I'd have went on in my life and found myself, so to speak, I would have probably gone into architecture because I love architecture. I love everything about it. So yeah, so it shows you how to start your color, how to add the details, and it's not really quite as hard as it looks. And after listening to some of the painters online and watching them paint, and I wish they would say, okay, I'm using this color and that color to go under, and I guess once you get used to the colors, you will know that. There's a lighthouse, look at that. And this goes by seasons too. I just noticed there's some seasons in here. So the things will appear in different colors by the season as well. Wouldn't that be cool to do? One drawing, one I don't know, one watercolor in the different seasons. That would be so fun. And look at this bucket. I mean, that's just right. I mean, even shows how to paint it. I mean, awesome. I find this awesome. If you don't find this awesome, then you're not like me. You are you like something else different from me. And I love this, how this is the cement and the brick, whatever, stucco, whatever this is on the bottom. This is like an old farmhouse, and on the top, this is the cellar, and this is the living space. I mean, where else can you find something like that? I mean, I can't travel the world and see these things, and this man has obliged and put them in a book. I mean, and telling me how to paint it, giving me ideas and hints and tips to show me this is how you do this thing, and I love it. I love it. I mean, look at that. Look at that. And no, I have not gone through this book, which is why I'm pausing. Because, like, when I was a little girl, we had a store down on the corner from my grandmother. She lived on the city block, and there was a store at the corner just like this almost, except that the posts didn't come out to the corner of the street. They were more towards the store. But, I mean, and there was my uncle lived above it. And I'm like, I'm sorry, no, he didn't live above it. He lived in the upstairs above her house. I just got my thoughts confused. But yeah, just gorgeous. I mean, pottery's right down my alley. And it's not a lot of any one thing in here except for the houses and the trees. I mean, winter. There you go. There's winter. Beautiful. Beautiful things you can only see in the country or in the mountains, or these aren't things you see in the city. I'm not a city girl. Look at that water. Wow. So this is right down my alley. I probably shouldn't be showing you every single page. Somebody, the creator of this book, might hate me for that. I mean, I didn't even know he had some. Oh my goodness, there's a wagon. Oh wow, jackpot! I love wagons, large ones and small ones. Oh my goodness, this is beautiful, isn't it? Oh, there's a covered bridge. Oh my gosh, there's leaves on the water. I mean, what more could you possibly want? This book is amazing. There you go. There's some city life. That's as close to the city as I hope it gets in here. But that is cool. Oh my goodness. I mean, do you see that bridge with the arches? Oh, there's a sailboat. That's another thing I love is boats. Wooden ones, of course, not the, you know. Oh, look, there's another wagon, and it's a blue-gray. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so I wanted to show you this book. I love this book. It is by Ray Hendershot. I've got to find out. I've got to see now. I've got to do a little research and find out who he is, where he is in the art world. And yeah, I love it. Texture techniques for winning watercolors. Oh my goodness. So yeah, so I have my paint, I have my brushes, I have my water, I even have my paper right here. I bought the pad and the, let's see, what weight is this one? This is 140 pound. And then I bought what they call a block, and this is what the artists prefer, are the blocks. And I'm just assuming that they do better than the pads for some reason. I'll have to really look a little further into that. I'm sure using it will show me exactly. And they're both 140 pound, but I think I'm going to get some of the 90 just for practice. I should have gotten some. But this is the cold press. Both of them are cold press. I didn't get the hot press because it said that this was kind of in between the cold, the hot, and the rough. That it will keep the water a little more, put the color more in place where you want it, being a beginner. So they suggested the cold press, and the hot press is a lot smoother. And so maybe when I get better, I can do the hot press. So that's why I got the cold press, and I didn't want to get the rough yet because I do have a rough, cheaper pad, and it is it's a lot different. And so, so now I've got to get my pens, and I do have some drawing pencils from being a sketch artist, my own sketch artist, not a job or anything, just from having them myself. And they're over there, some the B's, the softs, and I even have some hards. And for some reason I like the hard. I think it's because it's a finer tip. It's something you'll just have to try. And I have a lot of the micron pens, where it's archival ink, and that's important. You don't want acid in your paint. Anyway, so I have a little of a background with art, and it helped me, but yeah, you're going to need more than just the paper and the paint. Yeah, you are. So before you go jumping off the bridge, listen to a few videos. I'll list Steve's video and then someone else's, Steve and I can't think of the other guy's name right now. I'll list them for you under this video so you can check them out. They're very, very helpful, and Steve has done like a ton of videos, and you can check them out and see what you think. So, all right. Well, I'm going to let you guys go, and don't forget, it's not unheard of. It's not what artists do, but if you need to, you can start out by using your stamps and some archival ink to stamp on your watercolor paper or whatever practice paper you want to use, and start doing your practicing you can start there if you need to start there, so don't forget about that. we have some beautiful, I mean, gosh, the stamp world has just gone crazy. So if you need to do that and you don't like to sketch, then you can start that way, and then maybe eventually you will develop the desire to do sketches. But yeah, so yeah, sketching is really important part of painting because it teaches you, composition and you know where to put things, and so everything kind of balance. It teaches you balance. So, and also it helps you with the flow of your brush when you start to add your paint. It helps you because you've drawn it, then you know which way your paint needs to go. Anyway, I wanted to share that with you guys. I think I covered, I know I didn't cover everything I wanted to. Uh, the eraser wasn't the only thing I wanted to tell you, but I can't think of what the other thing was. So if I remember it, I'll come back and do another video and share it with you guys, okay? So when I've got some more studying to do because that's what I do. I do a lot of studying before I really dive into something and put my hands in it. So as I progress and as I work more on my journal over there, I will share it with you guys when I have something that I think you may be helpful for you to hear. So, all right, I'm sorry this video is so long, guys, and have a great day, and thanks for stopping by.